G'day guys, David here from the Xylem Zone. I want to talk to you about this whole concept of can you pay off your home faster? And I know for some of you that are out there maybe renting, thinking you want to buy your own home, or you've already got your own home and you're feeling the pressure of the larger mortgage and you're sitting there and wondering how you can ever get ahead when so much money goes into repaying the mortgage because you're paying those principal interest repayments and you're just paying interest off in the first 15 to 20 years of that mortgage, so it really affects your lifestyle. So I want to start sitting down and going, can we go and get bad debt? Can we go and get our own home as a starting point and use the bad debt to create good debt and then eventually create a situation to be debt free and be in a position in our lives when maybe we can be by the age we're 50, have the option to work less, have our mortgage paid off and have a lot more choices going forward while we're still young and still healthy hopefully as well. So I'm going to string a few pieces together. I've done a few videos on some of the good debt, bad debt concepts already. So I'm going to just jump to the more advanced strategy now. So even whether you're renting, whether you're buying your own home, or you're already at that next stage, you can already think what can be possible in the future and you've got something to aim for. So let's assume that most people I'm talking to today are maybe renting and they would like their own home. And as I've shared already, I would traditionally not buy my own home, but there's some really favourable things. Interest rates are low, there's some great government incentives, so I would actually go out there and buy my own home. Now the great thing is if you do it at the moment and you understand the concept of buying power, I've discussed in some of the other videos, you can go out there and buy a property for $500,000 and potentially put in as little as $30,000 to $40,000. Now, if you're going to do that traditionally and put a 20% deposit in, you need $120,000, which is what most people try to achieve, and hence they never get into the market. So let's say we go out there and work out a strategy to get your own home. So that is actually then a bad debt because it's your own home. But the smart people that I'm working with at the moment are more focused on not the security of their own home, but creating the life they want. So what they've done is chosen a property in a good area that they've gone and moved into for 12 months as their own home, but then later they've moved out and turned that into an investment property. Now, what they've done then is they've gone and rented somewhere really nice in a better area, in a better location. They've been often able to rent lower than what the mortgage repayments are. Obviously, it depends on the type of property and depends on interest rates. At the moment, it's pretty close with interest rates, but often you can live in some great locations and great properties if you rent. Now, let's forget about the renting scenario. Let's say you do want to keep your own home. Let's say you do want to keep this property and you're not going to actually go and move out of it. But let's say you bought it at a bit of a discount. You bought it at a good price because you understood how to negotiate. Maybe you built this property, so you made some equity on the build because you kind of get it wholesale price when you get your own home, and hopefully by the time it's finished. And maybe you got a little bit of capital growth there as well. So, this property may be worth $600,000 within a few years. Now, if we go to the banks, then we know we can go and get this property revalued, and then there'll be some equity in here, which we can use to put down for a deposit over here and get your first investment property. Now, of course, I won't go into advanced strategies today. There's lots of ways and lots of strategies with property. But bottom line is, we've talked about an offset account before. If we set an offset account on our own home, we can sit here and run all our incomes in our offset account, all our deductions we get from property, from business, back into our offset account. And the more money that sits here, it reduces the interest and pays down your home loan. I've had a couple I work with that in 4 or 5 years have paid off their own home and now in a position where she can stop work and have a baby, and they just bought 2 investment properties, and all that extra rent they were able to put in was enough to get rid of the mortgage they had on their home. And now he's working part-time, she's been able to stop work because they've paid off their mortgage, they've increased their cash flow, and now they've got 3 assets which are going up in value to help them create better options. Now, again, some people will basically work on this strategy and grow it. Some people will continue to invest and maybe have 4 properties. The bottom line is the more money that goes in the offset account, you can get a scenario where you can pay that home off in 8 to 15 years in basically 50% faster than you would if you just tried to pay your mortgage in the traditional manner where you just reduce your savings, reduce your costs, reduce your lifestyle, and live on beans and rice, don't go on holidays, don't drink the red wine. But how's that actually work in life when you actually start a family, have kids, lose an income? It's hard. You've got to reduce, but there's not much extra money, so people get trapped. So there is a way out. You've got to make the decision. Do you start with your own home, do you start with your own home and then try and create equity in your own home and then invest? Or do you start with your own home now, get out after 12 months, turn into an investment, rent, and then build investment properties? Or do you not even buy their own home and just go and start with investment properties? There's 2 or 3 different approaches. It'll all vary based on your income, your situation, your goals. And basically at the Xylem Zone, we are holistic coaches. We've all owned our own homes, but most of us got our own homes later. I invested all my life with investment properties and rented great areas, then sold some of my investments to pay my home off and get the home debt free instead of paying a mortgage off all over the years. So there's different strategies, different scenarios. So we just help you build a plan to create the life you want, use the strategies in line with you. As I said, we don't sell property. It's purely about education and helping you become the captain of your own ship, make good decisions, manage risk and get where you want to go a lot faster and a lot safer. Anyway, I hope that's been useful today. It's kind of stringing a few ideas together. Keep an eye on check our other videos out on some of the other concepts I've talked about, and shoot us a message if you want to kind of touch base and find out what could be possible for you. Okay, bye for now. See you soon.